Hey guys, welcome back to the Shameless Promo podcast, episode 3. We're deep in it. We're going. We're moving. How do you feel?
I feel so good. Shout out to y'all for supporting episodes 1 and 2. Have been loving the feedback. Have been loving all the support, and I don't know. I'm excited to talk about today's topic.
As someone who it hits close to home for me personally, I have so much to say, so much to discuss. The influencer to pop star pipeline.
Right.
So before we get into the meat of the episode, Rumi, how have you been? What's up with you?
I've been busy for the first time in a while. Like, I'm trying to turn my life around before I turn 25. I've been training.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've been training for a half marathon, which is really crazy to me because I had just started running after not running for like maybe 6-7 years in March. And at that time I was doing like 1 mile, maybe 2 if I'm feeling nasty. But now I'm like, you know what? I have no experience running 13 and a half miles or 13.2 miles. But you know, I will by October 5th. So
Amazing. I didn't know you ran before. Did you run like in school or like?
I ran track in high school. Never finished a season because I'd always get injured, so I am a little scared. I like tore my ACL playing Capture the Chicken one year. It was bad. I was like out of commission for like 9 months. So manifesting health, wealth, and activity for this marathon.
Nice. I believe in you. I think you'll be very agile and flexible.
Yes. I will be able to touch my toes back and forth.
Me on Grindr. Just kidding. I'm not on Grindr.
Imagine to all the gay listeners out there.
Surprise.
Imagine you're scrolling, doing your nightly to-dos.
And it's just me.
You see Madison's face. Be like, hey, girl.
Like, questions. I have questions.
What would your profile name be?
Well, immediately I think of the time when we were in the Aruba airport and you showed me a profile that said Burlington Throat Factory. I don't know if I could ever top that personally.
No, that was peak.
But something like that.
Shout out to Burlington Throat Factory. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're still in business because that's innovative, truly.
Yeah, I mean, every time I see Burlington Coat Factory, I never have, like, PG thoughts. I'm just always thinking about Burlington Throat Factory, and I'm like,
imagine that's, like, just a sales associate hired by Burlington at every Burlington location. If you hop on the apps, you'll find the Throat Factory and back.
Secret identity. He's actually the regional manager.
Oh, my God.
I saw a joke. It was like on TikTok. This girl was like, well, I just prefer going on Grindr because, like, I feel special because I'm the only cis girl on there.
Like, girl, who is looking for you then?
I have no idea. I really don't. Maybe like an experimental gay who's like, you know what? I've never seen a vagina before. Maybe let's try something.
You know, I love a little gold star moment.
Yeah, it's like, you know, YOLO or whatever.
Yeah. And also, I guess bi men exist. They're on Grindr.
Yes, that's true.
Shout out to that girl. She's still on there, so it must work.
Is it cultural appropriation to be a straight woman on Grindr? Let us know.
Sound off in the comments.
Is it okay if you're like, if you have a boyfriend and you're looking for a spicy male third? Like, does that make it okay?
That's a thing.
Not asking.
Oh, you're like asking for a friend.
My boyfriend's like, what?
This is how he finds out.
Ebony Queen and Twink looking for. We can cut that out.
Ebony Queen and Twink is insane.
Ebony Queen and blonde-haired Twink looking for some fun.
How have you been, Twink aside?
Like, listen, I grew up not eating Twinkies, but I eat Twinks every day. Eat a Twink every day. Shouldn't say Twinks plural.
Just one twink. One twink is enough.
Just one twink and one twink only. Anyway, I mean, okay, one last joke. The bisexual girl and the twink boyfriend is just like peanut butter and jelly.
It's prophesized, actually. I think it was written down in some scriptures.
Written in the stars. I've been good. I've also been super busy. Ever since I got my wisdom teeth out, I've been trying to like get my life together again, because that was like a full week of me just being like incapacitated.
No, you were going through it.
And in pain. Yeah, I healed pretty fast, honestly. Like, I healed impressively fast, actually, but the first like 2 to 3 days were horrible. And then like after the 4th day and 5th day, I was getting better, but like I was definitely like out of commission for a full week.
Did you say anything crazy when you were under anesthesia?
No, I was actually so with it, it was concerning.
Oh.
I was like, Hugo was like, you were like too there, to the point where I'm like, I wish you were just out of it and could go to sleep, because you're just like awake in pain.
You were unfuckwittable.
So,
those drugs had nothing on you.
I mean, I didn't want to do anything and couldn't, but if I really wanted to, I probably could have gone to the UN or something. I could have like given a speech.
Could have given a presidential
to the
debate.
Country.
Like
Yeah, like you wouldn't really be able to understand what I'm saying, but mentally it's
the
there.
thoughts were there, right?
The thoughts were there. I literally, like, as soon as I, like, the surgery was done, because you have to wait for 10 minutes just so they know that you're okay. I'm, like, doing the New York Times crossword puzzle on my phone.
You're giving savant. You're giving prodigy right now.
I wish I was one of those people who was like, oh my god, this is crazy. But I was like, yeah, I'm fine.
Damn.
I don't know. It makes me think either those bitches are lying, because it is a small percentage of people who like go crazy off of the laughing gas and sedation.
Yeah.
Most people are just kind of tired and out of it, which is like me. But I don't know. I just was fine.
I remember when I got my wisdom teeth out, I was just very loose. And then I blacked out. Like, there's this very clear line. Like, I was in the car, and I was like, oh, okay, this is fun. And then blackout, and then it's the next day. Like, there's just, like, a lapse in my memory.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You know, I think maybe if I was younger, like, if I was, like, 17, 18 when I did it, things would have been different. But, like, my body has seen a lot of things. So, I was like, yeah.
It's like, this girl is nothing new. I'm sorry.
I'm like talking to the surgeon, have you ever been to Berlin? But yeah, no, it was fine. I just had to play catch up a lot. And I went to the Hamptons like the weekend of my surgery, which was interesting because I was like still kind of swollen. So I was like, I don't know if I should go. Like, I look crazy. But by the time Friday rolled around, I was like, whatever, let's just go. And then the weekend ended and my swelling had gone down. So it was fine. It was good. It was a good, like, exercise of, like, not caring.
Yeah.
You know?
What'd you do out there?
Just, like, drinking, going out, I almost said pooling, pool partying. Played a lot of like beer pong and like other games that I was not familiar with. I didn't go to like a traditional like fratty like college. So they're like, let's play bobsled. I'm like,
What's that?
I'm sorry, where's the snow? Like and not in that way. I just
Bumping
mean
that?
like why bumping that. No, there was nothing bumping. Although they did play Charlie XCX song at the pool party, and I was very excited about that. But yeah, I never went to like I didn't go to like what's a college?
Arizona
Florida
State
University. Yeah. So I was like, what is bobsledding? What are we doing? And it's like a game. It was a lot going on. I was like, I don't know what this is. But I had a good time. I learned a lot of things about that.
Period. I'm glad you had an informative experience in
yeah.
the Hamptons with your man in finance, 6'5" blue eyes.
Honestly, that's who I am. I love going to the gym. I love doing intense shit. Not in like a HIIT workout way, because I don't really believe in that. Hot take. Ooh. But like... Depends on your goals. If you're trying to, depends on your goals. Just my goals don't align with HIIT workouts, so I don't do them. But I loved that era of my life, and I kind of was going through some things, I was kind of going through some things mentally with, like, my body image, which is why I stopped, which sucks. But unfortunately, I talk about, like, body image and plastic surgery and how women's bodies are constantly, like, you know, judged, and it's like, oh, be skinny, oh, be thick, oh, but and it, like, it's never good
Yeah.
enough. And I unfortunately went through that same thing because, like, I'm not immune to that shit. Even if I commentate on it and talk about how shitty it is and how it shouldn't be thing, like, I am also looking at the same internet that everyone else is, and like, it got to me. Like, so many people are on Ozempic now or are just so skinny, and like, I'm seeing how being super 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 skinny is being glorified again. And as someone who, like, it doesn't look like that, and it was easy for me when, like, the BBL thing was, I mean, I've never had a BBL obviously, but like, my body type was more aligned with like the curvy trend. And it's a great learning lesson because it just proves that, like, all this shit is a trend, and like, you just have to like love yourself for who you are and not care what people online or like what the media or society is saying is like in now, because the thing is, your body is your body. It's not a piece of clothing. You can't just switch it out for something
Right.
else. And so it took a lot of like soul searching for me, but I'm back and better, and like, I love being strong and I love being healthy and like just embracing like what my body wants to be, and also embracing like the habits that make me feel good about myself and make me feel healthy. Because like, yeah, I could stop weightlifting, I could eat dangerously low amount of calories to try to like squeeze myself into this body standard, but that doesn't feel good. What feels good is like lifting weights and like working out and like doing the things that feel good for me. And like, there was nothing wrong with my body before, but I just, the brain rot just fucking happened, and yeah,
It's
it sucked.
crazy how much body shape and body image has become a trend on social media. Like it's always been a thing. Like different body types have gone in and out of like desirability and like style over like decades. But I feel like now we live in a time where like these things change within like 2 years at a time. Like
Yeah,
how
it's fucking
how are you
crazy.
expected to transform your body like 4 different ways in the span of a decade? Like especially for like
Right, and
most of
like
us, like those past 10 years, we were in like developing as people. Like we were coming out of puberty. We were like
yeah,
actually adolescents at the time. So how was that?
that's exactly right. Like, and it's even more toxic in that way when like you're still growing as a human being physically, and you're like, oh, my body has to look this way, and you like try to like force your body into a version of itself that's like, you haven't even finished developing. Like, it's just, it's really sad. And I talked about this in my last video, like with Kylie Jenner, because I mean, I think the Kardashians are a great example of how, like, we see these like shifts and what's trendy, and like the Kardashians were all about the BBL and the curves and the big butt, and now they're all like shrinking, and they're all like trying, like, they're very small compared to a few years ago, and they're like contributing to this kind of, I don't know, trendification of body shapes. And I think of Kylie because, you know, she's like one of the youngest, or is the youngest, and she got a boob job at 19 and like completely shifted her body before she was even 25, before she even had a child. And even she talked about that. She's like, I wish I didn't do surgery before I even had a kid, because your body changes so much, not just from aging, but also like from having a kid. And Cardi B has also talked about this. Like, it's just so wild that like from a young age you're like trying so hard to like make your body something that it doesn't want to be, and it's like you don't even know what your body really looks like
Right.
yet. It's just insane.
Yes. I had nothing to contribute there.
Well,
Wow.
anyway, let's get into the episode, shall we?
Let's get into it.
Okay, influencer music. So much to discuss. So many influencers have gone down the music path, so obviously we're not going to cover every single one, but we're going to talk about some, you know, heavy hitters, I
Hmm.
guess. People who are really successful, people who weren't successful. Not to jump ahead too far, but I think the obvious is like influencers who were successful or are successful with music are musicians, and were musicians before YouTube or TikTok or whatever. And then there's the influencers who are like, oh, I'm not a musician, or I never had a desire to make music, but now that I'm famous, I should like do something with it and try to make music.
Right. I think there's something so interesting about the whole aspect of like how music is used as an influencer because like you said, I feel like there are definitely influencers that have always wanted to do music but never really felt like they'd have an audience to do so. So they did like the influencer thing first and then was like, "Oh wait, I have this audience now. I can monetize off this. I have like a baked in audience to listen to my music." And go ahead that way. There are also people that like maybe never thought they'd do music, maybe still don't want to do music, but are just like, this is an achievement hunting thing that I can do and go that route.
Yeah.
And then there's the people that like started off as musicians themselves and discovered like with the way that the world works right now, the only way to really gain traction and to make it in the industry is to go full force with music. And that's like their whole thing.
Yeah, there are different avenues and ways that this happens. It's very true.
I applaud the influencers that are able to beat the influencer allegations and just become full pop stars, and people just forget that they were ever an influencer to begin with.
Yeah, it's hard. I think if you truly are talented and have a great team behind you, it's definitely possible. And if you just again make like really good music that people love, then it's very possible. Um, but you know, like someone like Madison Beer, a lot of people say like, "Oh, like she's known as an influencer more than a musician," which I don't really fully agree with at this point. Maybe if this was like 5 years ago, sure, but like I don't know. I feel like people know her to be a singer, you
Yeah.
know?
I feel like she's definitely changed the narrative a bunch. Even like in
Yeah.
comparison to, I'm a Madison Beer fan. I'll say this, I'll disclaim this. Um, Even prior to like her life support album, I feel like when that came out in like 2020, 2021, she was still having like the
Mhm.
influencer allegations just because
Yeah.
that was like really close to when she was associated with like the Vlog Squad and all those other influencers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like since she's like started distancing herself as an influencer, and this is my theory, this can be applicable to like a couple of other different cases. But the more they sort of neglect their influencer side and just focus more so on the music, the less and less those allegations are really relevant.
Yeah, it just depends on like what you're focusing your energy
Yeah.
on, and with time like yeah, like the attention will shift to whatever it is that you're putting forward. I don't know anyone else really who would be considered like a musician who's like an influencer first, or like, oh, like they're a musician but like I don't know.
I think honestly, I think Addison Rae's trying to have a similar moment to that
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
because she was like big time influencer, like was one of the top TikTokers for a while, and then once she started releasing music and like taking that seriously, she's taken a big step back from like actual content
Yeah.
creation. But I'm not sure if that's because of that or because of other things. Because like the other big influencers of that time, like the D'Amelios, are also on the same timing, like not really posting and just doing other things.
Yeah, I think Dixie D'Amelio is a good example of like the influencer to musician pipeline, because I feel like with her music, like, and you can see this in their or not documentary, their TV show, where they're kind of like, what should we do? Like, we're so famous. Like, what next?
Right.
And Dixie chose the music route. They show her in like vocal lessons and like learning how to sing, and she like is very uncomfortable with singing, which I think is very interesting because she's like, yeah, I guess I'll do music, but like she's very uncomfortable with singing. It's kind of like an interesting choice to make.
Mm.
And I don't know what her fan base is like with music, honestly. I just know she went viral for like her first few songs, and she went to Jingle Ball, but I don't know if she still does music or if she's like an audience with that. But that's a great example of like, you're so famous and you just choose music as like a path to like continue building your fame or like maintaining it,
Right.
and not necessarily coming at it with like a, oh, I've always wanted to be a singer and like now's my chance to finally be seen by the world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't really care as much anymore because that's just kind of like what happens
Mm.
in this kind of industry. I think it's shitty when someone who doesn't care about music gets a bunch of opportunities,
Mm.
when there are so many musicians out there who have been working on their craft and they miss out, and it just it feels unfair. I mean, there's a lot of things that are unfair about the music industry. um I think obviously as someone who is a musician, I do believe in artistic integrity, and that's something that I value. And when I see that is lacking in someone, I'm kind of like, okay, that's annoying.
Yeah.
And there's like my own like self-interest of like, wow, like Dixie D'Amelio's headlining Jingle Ball, and like isn't she doesn't she's not a singer-songwriter. It's not like this is her
Yeah.
passion. And like it sucks to see, but it's also just like a part of, I don't know, that's just the world we live in.
For sure. I feel like that's like also applicable to like a lot of other like fields as well when it feels like you're
Yeah.
working so hard at something and then the opportunity or like what you want or like what most people want kind of just falls in the lap of someone else who doesn't really want it as bad or hasn't shown to want it as bad or to
Yeah.
like have what it takes to like do something with that. Um yeah.
Like Dixie D'Amelio can have a song and it gets a billion streams, but if they're not actually invested or talented or whatever it may be, there's not going to be any longevity. So eventually it's going to fall off anyway. So it's like you could be like, oh, I want like I should be where Dixie D'Amelio is, but it's like I don't want Dixie D'Amelio's career because she's like
Yeah.
no one's talking about her music anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what she does musically, and like I'd rather work hard, get there in like an honorable way or whatever that means, and like be like, hey, maybe I get there a little later, or it's not as easy for me compared to Dixie D'Amelio, but once I'm there, I'm staying.
Yeah.
You know?
Like it goes back like the whole like Tinashe, Victoria Monet of it all. You're gonna
Yes.
have your moment, and if it's just thrown on you before you're ready, you're not gonna be able to do anything with it or know what to really do with it. Like having that experience of like learning all the aspects of like
Right.
behind the scenes and knowing what it's like to like not have that and have like that drive and that base for you to never like slack or like go backwards is gonna only propel you more forwards when like it's actually your time.
Yeah, exactly. Timing is so real. And I'm sure you've seen this clip where Victoria Monet was like, you can take the fast route and like get there really fast and not really know the layout of the environment that you're in, or you can take the back roads and really learn about your surroundings and where you are. It's slower. You're going to get there later, but you know so much more about what you're doing and where you are because you took the long way, and in the long run I think that's so much better. And obviously with something like music, especially if you're a woman, like that fast fame and like getting there before you're even 20 years old is like ideal, because there's this idea that you're going to expire when you're 30, or like no one's going to care, or you know what I mean. So we're like kind of led to believe that fast fame is the way, but that's not true. I mean, we see how so many people, like Ice Spice, for example, she got famous super fast, and like now people are like, we hate you, Ice Spice, like,
Yeah.
and it's, like it takes a while to like learn how to navigate the music industry, and I think obviously Ice Spice is more talented than like Tana Mojo musically. um, she was in the right place at the right time, and she's like making her money. And I don't think Ice Spice is like fucking Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
She's not Beyonce.
Yeah.
I think music for her is a career path, as like a means to like make money, and like I think she enjoys being famous, and like she makes her bops, but it's not like that serious
Yeah.
to her. You know what I mean?
It doesn't need to be fully.
There's like different kinds of artists that exist, and like she's like a good time kind of artist, and I don't know if she's gonna like be around for the next 20, 30 years necessarily. I think she's more of like a personality and like a celebrity than like, she's like the J. Cole of female rap, And I never expected that from her
Yeah.
either.
I feel like it's like expectation, like managing expectation. Like I think Ice
Yeah.
Spice still has a lot to not necessarily prove, but like show us. Because in
Yeah.
the grand scope of her career, she just released her debut album. And although
Yeah.
she's been like in the public eye for like 2 years now, career
Which is
wise,
short.
yeah, that's short, but also a long time for like musicians nowadays.
Yeah. Especially if you're blowing up on TikTok.
Exactly. Like the point where she's at in her career can be comparable to like a TikTok artist that just blew up and like released their debut after their first little blow up thing. Like there just
Yeah.
isn't that much to really base off of, you know? Like
I mean, she was hyped up so much, and now people are like, "Why did we hype you up?" Also, there's like the controversy with like the TikToker and
yeah.
the Central C stuff, so I think that's also why people are mad at her. But I mean, she's gotten a lot of negative reviews with her latest album, and I guess I'm like, it was exactly what I expected it to be. Like, I don't know. It
I'm
was
just
like, I don't know
because
what.
I never smell. Like
Anyway, I went on a tangent yet again.
we've
Sorry.
strayed, but we mentioned one of the people that we're talking about when it comes to influencer music, and that is Miss Tana Mojo.
Tanamonjo.
Tana Mogu.
Yes, Tanamugadu. Surprisingly, a somewhat extensive discography. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but she's released songs.
Bangers, if I may.
Bangers even. Yeah, so her music has kind of like trended again on TikTok, and it's really, I mean, nothing like a Hefner retrospective, honestly.
Right?
Never thought I'd be in the year 2024 talking about the societal impact that Hefner had on us.
I fucking hear bitch like I'm Hefner. I take the percent like I rep her. Like, who hops on the trend? Like, who hops on the beat like that? Sickening.
No, I mean the beat goes hard.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. So yeah, we can start with Hefner. She was in her bag with this one. This is like her best song in my opinion. You're like, actually Without You is her best song.
I have some
but
thoughts.
we can get into that. I just feel like, you know, Tana, she's dipped her toe into rap and to singing. I think rapping is her comfort zone. I think it'd be like she does it so well. I think she can like get away with rapping, you know?
Yeah.
Like she can do it.
Her and Wo Vicky could go toe to toe.
Yes, great, yes, but not Bad Baby.
No,
I think Bad Baby actually is like that girl.
No, she be spitting.
She be spitting. Hefner has nothing on Gucci flip flops.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Gucci flip flop. Coming out hard like 88, make a bitch levitate, babyface. Like, who?
Why did she come out swinging? I remember when she was like blowing up and started doing music, and I knew a girl who she pulled up with a fucking Bad Baby tour merch t-shirt. I was like, you went to her concert? She's like, yeah.
Not only went to the concert, but bought
like,
the merch, waited in line to buy the merch.
I was like, I didn't know Bad Baby had stands like that.
That's real
Damn.
bold, because when Bad Baby was releasing music, she was very problematic. You were like, I'm gonna wear this shirt today.
Probably still is. I don't know. At the time, I was like, girl, not you betraying the people, because this was a black girl.
Oh.
It wasn't a Becky girl. It was a black queen who spent money on a girl who said, "Who wants to be black?" Meanwhile, she's like saying the N-word and rapping. I'm like, girl, you want to be black, actually.
That's insane.
I was like, actually, like low key pissed at her. I was like, why would you go to her concert? That's fucking crazy.
There have to be some clips of like what her concert audience looks like. Like, I want to know what the crowd is pulling.
Can find it.
Like, especially after that. Like, is it like giving mostly, or is it
palm colored people? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of black people fucked with her. I'm not even gonna lie.
I mean, look at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been clocked.
Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, Hefner, it's her most popular song.
Wow.
It has 29 million streams on Spotify.
That's insane.
That is fucking insane. I mean, wow.
That whole era was wild. Like, you remember the music video?
Yeah, I'm gonna get into her music videos in a second. I just wanted to run down the singles here. She has another song called Without You that has 10 million streams. I think that's her second most popular song.
My claim track.
Can you tell us about your relationship with this record, please? I really want to know.
I think this song really hit me at a time where I needed it. Not that I was going through anything similar. Like, I did not have anyone that I was itching to not have.
Getting high with.
Yeah. It was just the era. What year did this come out? Like 2016?
Yeah,
2018?
probably like 2016, yeah, around that time.
I was going through
Maybe
many life
2018.
changes. Yeah, 2018 sounds about right. I was going through life changes, and I keep talking about the music video because that girl, she would do her big one.
We'll get to it.
Um,
She did do her big one.
I don't know. It's just the vocals. It's just so real and raw, and it feels like something that like I could sing.
I believe. Listen, I was gonna say actually, you know, just to be on brand, we need to get on the mic. We need to make a jingle for the show. I'd love to hear you
I've been
riff and
thinking
run.
about this, but I was scared to break it up.
I want to get you on the mic, bitch. We need to get in the stew.
I think this needs to happen. We'd be like, shameless promo.
That's exactly how I'd sing it too. Shameless promo.
There need to be some obnoxious whistles, like whistles for no reason.
No, like in the middle of the song, it's like I can't even hear what they're saying because she's fucking like squeaking all over the track. Anyway, so Without You is one of the songs that's also been trending on TikTok. This song is interesting. There's a lot going. It's not a long song. Most of her songs are pretty short. She really utilizes all parts of her voice in this
Every register is on the track.
2-minute song.
Mm-hmm.
Every register is on the track.
Left nothing behind.
And it's interesting because the vocals are raw and real, but also heavily auto-tuned, but also raw at the same time. I don't know how to explain it.
That's a talent.
I'm like, that is her voice. She's not pulling some J-Lo shit. She's singing on this.
She meant that shit.
I love how unabashedly she's like, yep, this is how I sing, and you're gonna like it.
And did.
She is a song called Fuck Up. Spoiler, my favorite music video, personally.
I actually missed this one.
I think she was like being heavily canceled at this point, so I don't think I was like really like, I don't know. This might have been post TanaCon, so I don't think I was like really following her that much, but I kind of respect it.
Really?
It was like the song is incredibly vulnerable and very honest and true. I was like, listen, I don't know who's writing these songs because there's no writing credits, but I'm guessing she wrote this or at least had a hand in it, co-writing at least. It's not Shakespearean.
I don't know. I think Tana could have written Hamlet, but I don't know if Shakespeare could have written Fuck Up.
Conspiracy. Shakespeare is actually Tana Mojo's spirit guide. And this is how the song starts. 'Cause I'm a fuck up, and I'm so fucked up. And all these voices in my head won't shut the fuck up. 'Cause I'm a fuck up, and I'm so fucked up.
Lyrical genius, truly.
Lyrical genius. Oh my god, I'm on genius.com like, what did she mean by this? I just love how she starts the song with the word cuz. It's like, because what?
I'm a fuck up.
'Cause I'm a fuck up, and I'm so fucked up, and I'm fucked up, and I'm fucked up. Honestly, she was so real when she said, I'm waking up at 5 p.m. That's honest and true and real. I do believe Tana at the time was waking up at 5 p.m. And probably still does. I don't know.
I am glad that she's doing better. Because I remember this era as being really spooky.
It was very spooky. The music video is also very spooky. Something that I was gonna save for a different song, but is applicable to all these songs. She does sound fucked up on a lot of these songs. Like, she's kind of like slurring her words, and like it just I can feel the Xanax through the audio. And I'm happy that she's no longer on Xanax. I think this was a dark period for her, hence the song Fuck Up, obviously. And it's sad because she's obviously very self-aware with this song. And like in the video, you can see like there's like pills on the table, and like like it's very, very, very self-aware, which is why I'm like, I respect you for like being like, yeah, I'm this way and I wish I wasn't. And like, I'm assuming she's like gotten help because she's like evolved since then.
Yeah.
But it's really sad. Like, just the song is really sad, and like the music video is really sad, and like I know people hate Tana for multiple reasons, but I do think people can like grow and change. And like, just when I see someone who's struggling like that, there's always going to be a part of me that's like, I am sorry that this is your life, and like this is like what you're going through, because that's like horrible.
Yeah. There can be space held for some of the things that she's been canceled for, and then also her just being able to have a sound mind and body off of like all the stuff that she's been through.
Definitely. There's one lyric, she says, "But I promise that I hate me more than you do. Post another fucking lie on YouTube." And the hee hee ha ha part of my brain is like, relatable. Not that I'm posting lies on YouTube, just putting that out there. Felt. But also, like, I promise that I hate me more than you do. Like, damn.
That's deep.
Damn. That's deep.
Even your biggest hater ain't got shit on what you got going on in your head. Like,
no, because it's like, as a songwriter, I'm like, I could totally see myself writing some shit like that, and probably have, honestly, probably have. And I know what that's like when you're like, y'all hate me, but trust me, I hate myself more than you could ever know. Like, let's go at the demons in here couldn't even compare to the comments. Sorry. But yeah, I'm in therapy, you know.
Me too, girl.
I relate to Tana in the sense that, like, I don't speak to my mom. I haven't talked to her in over a year. And that's been really hard. And like, a lot of my like self-loathing or self-hatred comes from just like the toxic environment I grew up with like being raised by someone who is a narcissist, and like you are fed a lot of really negative messaging about yourself from childhood. And when you grow up, it's like, it takes a lot of therapy and unlearning to be like, oh, I'm actually not the things that my parents say that I am. I'm actually not like a piece of shit or like a burden or whatever it is. And so I'm like, not me relating to the song Fuck Up by Tana Mojo.
Who would have thought that a song by Tana Mojo would unearth some inner child healing?
No, why are we talking about my childhood trauma on a podcast where we're talking about Tana Mojo's
because
music
it applies.
career?
That is what we're talking about. That is true artistry, okay? If it's able to touch you that deeply, no matter how profound or not the lyrics may be.
It's just true.
Yeah, it's raw. It's real.
It's raw and it's real. And like, I respect Tana. I mean, obviously I'm jealous. I'm like, I wish I was pulling streams like Tana. As someone who's a professional singer, I wish. I can only dream of a music career like Tana Mojo's personally. But also, I'm like, I have respect for her because she's actually, like, putting in substance into some of her songs. Like, she's not just, like, sometimes I just want to be happy.
Oh.
I don't know. No shade to Dixie D'Amelio. I'm so sorry. Do your thing, Shoddy.
Not Shoddy.
You know. There's a video of her saying the N-word on TikTok right now. Did you know that?
Of Dixie?
Yeah.
Damn. Why has every white creator got to be saying the N-word? What's up with that?
I don't know.
Is that like a common thing that white people do? Or is that just like exclusively like influencers?
I'm sorry. I'm so burpy right now because of the Diet Coke.
No, it's the N-word.
It's making me gag.
You niggas make me queasy.
Ooh, I'm gonna use that as a bar. I think a lot of white people have said the N-word in different contexts where it's like, oh, I was rapping along to a song and I said it. And then there's people who like hate, like, who are like hurling it, you know? So there's a spectrum. So I do think it's not uncommon for a white person to have said the N-word. What happens is it gets documented. And there's like a percentage of white people who have documentation of them saying the N-word. And then there's a percentage of white people who become famous and also have that documentation. I think a lot of people have probably said the N-word at some point in their life.
Oh.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I've asked my white friends, I'm like, have you ever said
Have you seen that
I
video?
even asked him.
Sorry.
No, what were you gonna
Have
say?
you seen that video of that one lady that was on live and she was like, "Nigger, nugget."
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. My favorite, kind of like white person saying the N-word is when someone's trolling them in like a live stream, and it's like, oh, can you shout out my friend Jenna side? And she's like, oh, I have a friend named Jenna. I totally support Jenna's side. And she's like, oh my god. That's hilarious to me, personally.
Those are so funny.
No, I mean, I know there's plenty of white people out there who've never said the N word, but
Shout out to y'all.
yeah, thanks, I guess. But there are a lot of influencers, unfortunately, who have said the N word and have documentation of it.
Damn.
Yikes.
I mean, if we want to be real, Tana's one of them.
Yes, and she said it to her black friend on video.
Oh, spooky.
Anyways, so, Deada. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this song other than when she says, "Barred out with your bitch, you can call me Xana Mojo."
This is one of the songs I also claim. Because this song specifically gave me the same vibes that Miley Cyrus did on Beggars. I forgot the song. It's the one where she's like, bang, bang. I'ma shut them down,
do
baby.
Yeah. Yes, it's funny because whenever I listen to that song, I'm expecting her to say for some reason.
Oh, there's
and
definitely
I
a director's cut with that, for sure.
Oh, yes. Michael made it was like, just say the N-word and then we can figure out, like, you just get the vibe going first. Yes. Oh my god, that song is insane. Is it the song where she's like, is it I'ma do my thing?
Do my thing, yes.
I love it ironically and unironically at the same time.
Bangers was my album. 13-year-old me was popping it.
Same. Well, so something that
I like how we just like go off topic for every single song because there's another artist that we want to talk about.
I know, there's just so, yeah. Something I can respect about Tana's rapping is like, you can tell that's a white woman on the track. There's no accent happening. It's like, yeah, that's a white woman.
And I respect that. I respect that a lot.
And I respect it. Be who you are.
Okay. I was about to say bring back white girl rap, but keep it.
You can keep it. Yeah. Honestly. Clout 9.
I don't remember this one.
She's on the song for like 2 seconds. She has like one little verse. Okay. There's not much to say. It's short and cute.
Okay.
Featuring Bella Thorne, Dr. Woke, who also produced the song, and Elijah Daniel, and Lil Hag. I'm not gonna say it.
Lil Hag. I'll say
it. There you go. Resident gay in the house.
It's okay, because I'm gay.
Moving on. FaceTime. This song, I was like, I don't think I've heard this song. And I was like, no, I have heard this song. It's kind of like Without You, where she's trying to, like she's singing. She's like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember this one either.
This song is like, also similar to Without You, where like, she's making some really interesting vocal choices with the diction and pronunciation of words. The melody is kind of like all over the place. There's in the chorus, she's like, "'Cause I'm in love with his heart." I like, whoa.
Love a vocal challenge.
Yeah.
Trying new things.
She's riffing and running.
Yes.
She, again, sounds a little barred out. She's kind of like slurring her words. I don't know. It sounds like, I'm not sure if she was sober when she recorded this. And I think in a podcast episode, she mentioned, like, I was high for most of my music career.
Oh, wow, really?
I don't want to misquote her, so allegedly. But I feel like I remember her saying, like, I was high, and Maud's son was like, oh, you should do this, and like was coaching me through it, and like was a big influence on like her starting music and like going on tour and stuff.
Okay.
From what I understand, her perspective on her music career is like, I don't know why I did that. That was a weird time in my life. Should have never done that.
I'm sure it's clouded by like bad memories because everything else that was going on, but maybe she should run it back. I don't know.
Yeah, people have been saying that. And she's like, no, I'm okay.
She got the streams. She has like a lot of monthly listeners too, right?
She does.
If she ever decided
So
to come back, then the people were
your
there.
your audience is waiting. Yeah. Honorable mention is Kobe. I think this is just a demo or something because you can only find it on YouTube, and it's very short and like very repetitive, and she's kind of just saying the same things over and over again. But it's out there. As well as her diss tracks, It's Everyday Ho and Roast Yourself Challenge diss track, which is a whole other side of influencer music that we could get into.
I feel like that could be a whole other episode because the diss track era was insane, and I feel like a lot of people forget about it. Like it was bad, and
I know.
the lore got so deep. There was like so much like actual beef that came from these diss tracks.
Yeah, we could totally make an episode on that. So let us know if you're interested. Again, no writing credits on anything. I couldn't find it on Spotify or even Genius, but producer credits I could find. So Mod Sun produced a couple of her songs. He produced FaceTime and Without You, which are similar songs, so that makes sense. Prince Fox was a producer on some songs, as well as DJ Rupp.
Oh.
So,
okay.
In case y'all are interested in that, Tana has a producer cred on FaceTime, which I wonder like what production she contributed to on that. I'm very curious to know.
Oh, she hopped behind the screen. She's hopping in her Ariana era.
Yeah.
She's like, no, yeah.
She's on Pro Tools comping her vocals.
Okay.
And her music is associated with Filthy Fans LLC, which is Bella Thorne's label, which I had no idea she had a label. So, the more you know.
The plot thickens.
It was a throuple endeavor. Ooh, let's get into some music videos.
Yes.
So, I didn't mention the song W. She made that song. Also a fairly popular song of hers. Not the most popular. I think this was the first music video I ever saw of hers. Maybe Hefner was the first. I don't really remember. W is like a very simple, low-budget music video. She's just kind of like standing in front of a Rolls Royce, like...
Yeah.
Moving. And she's in the most like 2018 outfit ever. Very like, I got this from Zoomies today. She's wearing like camouflage, like the orange camouflage pants.
Yeah,
do you remember those?
Was there
I
a
had a
bucket
pair.
hat too? I had a pair too.
Oh my god, there might have been. She was wearing, yeah, we all had a pair, didn't we? Those pants were ugly. I don't know why we thought that was cool.
They were hideous. We looked like mutant giraffes. Like
the giraffes if they were gay.
All colors of the rainbow represented there.
Don't ask, do tell. Yeah, she's wearing like an all orange outfit. She's got the orange camo pants and like an orange crop top that says like, it's like bejeweled something. Probably just like says like princess or something like that. And it's so 2018. It's actually incredible. I'm gonna show my kids this and be like, this is what 2018 was like.
It was a sign of the times. You just had to be there.
It was a sign of the times. And like, it's just like a random Rolls Royce in the middle of some like LA street. There's palm trees and she's like kind of twerking, kind of like, it's very interesting.
That was just the era. You had to understand that was just what they were doing at the time, y'all. Like
that's just what the kids were doing.
Everyone was coming out with the diss tracks. Everyone was rapping. Everyone was starting a music career, and it was all flexiana. Like you had to have a Lamborghini. You had to have a nice car. The palm trees were a requirement.
Yes.
They had to know you were in LA.
Yes.
Like you couldn't be anywhere else. You had to be in Los Angeles, California.
No, bitch.
If you weren't there sipping on your Earth Cafe smoothie, where were you at?
And I mean, I guess it fits when you were saying like flexing and stuff because that's what the song is about. She's at the W, taking dubs from you.
Okay.
I wish she was at the W in the music video. I feel like,
right.
I mean, I'm sure there was some sort of like permission licensing thing so she couldn't, but that would have been iconic.
She made do with what she had.
She made do with what she had. She pulled herself up by her bootstraps and made it happen.
She did the best she could with what she got.
Oh my god. Fuck up. Okay, it's low key giving budget.
Okay.
It's giving budget. We've got multiple scenes.
Ooh.
multiple scenarios, interior and exterior. So we've got the bedroom scene where the music video opens up. She's like waking up. She got her Lily Miami mink lashes and a nude lip.
Ooh.
It's
And a fresh. I know that bleaching tone was freshly
the
done.
bleaching tone was fresh. She rolls out of bed. I'm assuming it's 5 p.m. considering she says that in the song. Very on the nose,
Right.
love it. She's like smoking a blunt in the mirror. There's pills sprawled out on the counter. Very on brand.
Oh, she gets ghetto.
She got ghetto. There's a school scene. She's sitting at a desk. She's being reprimanded. She's fucking around. I remember seeing a clip of this and I was kind of confused because I'm like, wait, is she supposed to be in school or like she's doing like the sexy schoolgirl thing? Like I was just kind of confused. I was like,
what's going on?
but honestly, maybe she was wearing that to school considering how she grew up. So I can't even, maybe that was authentic. She's wearing an off-the-shoulder top and a mini skirt and pigtails.
Okay.
With a nude lip and a mink lash. Hello?
Unfuckwittable. Okay.
Honestly, when I think about it, I was definitely wearing a mini skirt and a mink lash in high school. But I couldn't afford the Lily lashes because they're expensive. Oh. Anyway, I had the Ardell Wispies, bitch, from CVS.
Shout out to Ardell Wispies. Shout out to y'all if you want to sponsor the podcast.
I still wear them. I will endorse any day. Honestly, Tana put me onto the black lash glue. It's a game changer. I was really telling bitches, you're like, yeah, of course. Right. Black lash glue.
Shout out to Tana Mojo. Kick your face like a pro.
Yes, I used to love her makeup tutorials. Anyways, moving on. Another scene, this is my favorite scene, actually. It's like cliche music video in the best way. She's in a convenience store. I mean, we can all name a music video that takes place in a convenience store. It's just like such a music video vibe.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
I was thinking of Drake and Rihanna, actually.
Oh, gee. What's my name?
Oh, na, na, what's my name? I love that song. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, like, and it was well shot. Like, I thought it was well shot. The scene, she's like stealing liquor and like looking really sad and angsty. I'm like, oh, Tana.
It's giving euphoria.
It's giving euphoria. Stealing a fucking, I don't think it was a Four Loko. It was something like that. It was like.
Imagine it was Four Loko and she was just like having Easter eggs for her future music.
Right.
That would be crazy.
Because she does have a song called Four Loko.
Mm-hmm.
And then she like leaves the convenience store and she's like walking and like it's sad and it's angsty and she's like, oh my God, the turmoil. And she's running from the cops and she runs into an alley and she's angsty and she's got the black hoodie on and it's angsty. I love it.
Oh, it was feeding us. It was
giving.
Yes.
And, like, I was like, I do believe this is what you were doing in Vegas. I believe it. I know it to be true.
This was
I love the authenticity.
Yes.
She's telling her story, guys. She's telling her story. Actually, my real favorite scene, the most camp out of all of them, in my opinion, is when she's in the hospital and she's got a straight jacket on. And she's like...
Oh. Give her an Oscar, please. Because do hospitals carry straitjackets?
No, okay, well, in the scene, it was giving emergency room. I was like, girl, no one's getting a straitjacket in the fucking ER. But it's funny because she's giving like Harley Quinn. Like, she's got like a full beat face.
Oh my God.
And a straitjacket. I was like, what the fuck is this? And there's like, they were trying to really like story tell, bitch. Because there was like fans through the window like cheering and taking pictures. And she's like in the straitjacket. And it's like, yes, come on, commentary on fame.
She had a vision.
Come on, Lady Gaga. Come on, Britney. I was like, she's having her Britney Spears 2007 moment. She's like, this is the toxic side of fame. You know?
She came on Fuck Up with a story to tell in Life's a Change.
Literally, this was storytelling. It was giving. It actually was giving. And it's funny because, like, she's like, like screaming at the doctor, like, fuck you, like she's like laughing in like a crazy deranged way. And then the doctor goes, no, no, no.
You're
He's
kidding.
literally waving his
You
finger
have to
in
be
the
kidding.
air.
You have to be
I'm
kidding.
not kidding. He's like, mm-mm. Like, it was so sassy. It was so fucking it was giving, I'm acting. In case you didn't know, I'm acting right now.
What were the director notes? That's what I want to know. Like,
I think it was like, no, no, no. Like, disapprove. And make it camp. I don't know.
she was ahead of her time.
That scene is insane.
That's crazy.
The music video finishes with her in therapy, and then the therapist tries to take a selfie with her naturally, and then the music video ends.
She ate that one thing. She ate that.
I do wonder, I'm like, my therapist has no idea who Tana Mongeau is. I wonder if that's actually happened to her.
That would be terrifying. I would be sick to my stomach. Like, imagine you, like, tell all of your life secrets, and then you're, like, super vulnerable. You're talking about all your trauma. You're talking about all your insecurity with fame. Turns out that your therapist is a diehard fan.
They're like, my daughter's a big fan. Can I take a picture? I'm sure that's happened.
That has to be the experience.
Not necessarily
with
to her.
Like,
but
big celebrities, like, there's no way that your therapist doesn't know who you are.
Yeah, and then it's so hard because it's like, I feel like the whole point of therapy is that they're unbiased and like they're like a third party in your life.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you have like a good therapist that really can give you like the treatment you need if they have all this context on you already?
Right.
Like, my therapist has never watched any of my YouTube videos. And that was like an intentional choice.
Yeah.
And like, I respect that because it's like, it makes things more like, I don't know, like, just makes things easier.
It's like impartial. Maybe. Like, they don't really have any like biases
right.
or like any context for anything outside of your experience, which is nice. My therapist is the same way. Like,
nice.
Doesn't know shit about what I got going on, to be honest. I don't know if he understands. It makes me wonder, like, with celebrity therapists, celebrity is such a unrelatable job and so specific. Like, I wonder how like that direction goes. I wonder if it's like more like broadly applicable advice or management.
Yeah.
How do you as a therapist like help your client figure out how to interact with fans, you know?
Right. It's just such a different ball game, and like, you do have to operate in such a different way. It's hard. I would imagine there are celebrity therapists where it's like they all kind of talk to someone who can specialize or understands or have had other famous clients, just because it's so like so different. Okay. Your life is so different.
You're not going to see Ariana Grande on like BetterHelp.
Oh my God, imagine. That's so funny. Okay, we can wrap up the music videos really quick. The Hefner music video, it's reposted by someone. I'm not sure why she took it down. It's like exactly what you would expect from a song called Hefner. She's like in the red Hefner robe, surrounded by a bunch of women in bunny ears, and there's a very horny Bella Thorne cameo where they're like rolling around in the bed, just lezzing out. It's wonderful.
That came out during a time where gay wasn't gay today, so they were shaking shit up. Like, it was still
they were
gay was okay, but it wasn't okay. Like, it was okay, but it wasn't okay like gay today.
Well, bisexual,
right?
Is the thing that's not okay, because like she talked about how, you know, it was hard for her to be in a relationship with a woman because people just like didn't believe her, and it'd be like Bella Thorne and friend. Meanwhile, they're like literally making out, tongue kissing and all.
Right.
And it's like, yep, they're just friends.
Just friends.
Like, hello. And people were like, oh, she's faking being gay or she's queer baiting. And it's like, y'all don't realize you're literally being fucking biphobic because you assume she's doing it for attention. It's like, I'm sorry, bitch. If you've ever eaten a pussy, it's because you want to eat a pussy. It's not because you're doing it for the clout. Like, what?
You can't accidentally just munch box. Like, that's not...
You can do it. You can't, you don't do, how the fuck you suck dick on accident, bitch? Like, it's that kind of vibe. It's like, no, if you want to eat a pussy, it's because you want to eat a pussy. Because, you know, as someone who's experienced, like, straight girls who are like, oh, I just want to experiment, they're not
down like that, for real.
Yeah, like...
Alexa, play Pretty Girls by Renee Rapp.
Exactly, bitch. Like... So I feel her pain on that. Not really. No one's ever been like, you're not really bisexual, but you know. Anyway, FaceTime. This I love this music video because it's so off-brand, in my opinion.
Wait, what it gave?
I mean, it was giving music video. I'm like, oh, I could see like some pop star using this as a music video concept for like a promotional single. Like, it's not super crazy high budget. She's like in a nice beach house. I feel like it was off-brand because she's like, first of all, reading a book in the music video.
That's a start.
Which I feel like Tana has been like, I don't read like that.
Yeah.
Like books. I'm not saying she can't read, obviously. Like, I don't.
You're giving Tana Mojo Leah Michelle allegations.
Yeah. You got your wife on VH1 and she can't read. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong and she's like zooming through novels. I feel like I've heard her say like, I just don't have the attention span to be reading like that. So I was like, it's interesting that she's flipping through pages in this music video. And she's also wearing like this yellow floral sundress. And I'm like, I've never seen Tana wear anything like that in her day-to-day life. I'm not sure who styled this music video. It just seemed so, I was like, who is this?
I can't picture that either. Hold on.
Yeah, if you watch the video, you'll know what I'm saying.
Okay.
The video's cute, it's simple, it's to the point, captures the highs and lows of love and being in a relationship. It's lit very well. She looks really good in the video. But yeah, it was just kind of like, it felt very like, compared to her other videos, so different.
Yeah. The budgets for these influencer music videos are crazy.
I know. I'm like, how do I do that?
Right. Like, what?
How do I do that?
Where did I get the money from?
I mean, I don't know. I forget what year Adpocalypse happened, but I mean, Tana's always made money.
Yeah.
So, but and we'll get into that when we talk about Trisha because her budget's crazy. Last segment of Tana's career. Music tours. She went on tour.
She went on
a
tour?
music tour. Yeah.
Tana
twice.
Mojo was music touring.
Music touring. I remember her saying she went on like 3 or 4 or something like that, but I could only find 2 music tours. Probably a terrible rap matinee tour with Elijah Daniel, aka
Yeah, Lil Fag.
and Just Another Tana tour, which is also a music tour.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, they're like, you know, the performances are what you would expect. Like, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about it. She's just like,
is giving backing track and then just dancing around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Shall we move on to Gabby Hanna?
Yes, it's time to talk about Miss Gabby Hanna. I do want to say, before I get into Gabby, I was seated for her eras. That may be a hot take, because a lot of people don't like Gabby. Me personally, don't really like her as a person or like how it's been portrayed online, but the music's been good. The music's been really good. For those of you that don't know Gabby, she was a Viner that became a YouTuber and did like story times, was big in the story time era, but then transitioned into making music around 2017, 2018. And she came out with her first song, her first debut song called, her first publicly debuted song was called Out Loud. But prior to that, she had a quick single called Satellite, which had some mixed reviews. Fans weren't super happy about it. I don't think she's like super proud of it because she's like wiped it from the internet. But Out Loud was the first single. And Gabby, she was a charting icon. Well, not charting icon, but streaming icon.
I was like, damn, she broke into the Billboard Hot 100.
Gabby Hanna peaked at number 1. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Her first song, Out Loud, had 42 million streams, which is insane. I think that might be her biggest song, actually. She also had songs like Honestly, which came at 25 million. She released some EPs and I think an album. She had Two-Way Mirror, which came out in 2019. This one was actually my favorite. Were you tapped in for the Two-Way Mirror era?
No.
Really? This was Monster.
Oh, really? Wait, so this is an EP?
Yeah.
Or an album?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember Butterfly. Well, I think I saw the thumbnail for it. I don't think I've ever watched it. There's a YouTuber on YouTube. There's a YouTuber on
Twitch.
No. His name is Nick, I think, and he makes like reviews of like music videos and like influencer like shows and stuff, and he like did all of Gabby Hanna's music videos, and the Butterflies one, he was like, this is a good music video.
No, Butterflies was so good. I love the song. I when it came out in 2019, I was gagging. I
I
was.
have no idea what it sounds like.
It has some range. It has a lot of range in it.
Mm-hmm.
It had 15 million streams. It has 15 million streams on Spotify right now. The music video was really well done. It was giving budget. She had like different costume
Yeah.
changes. She had a story to tell. And one thing about Gabby's music that Gabby's a writer, so that shows up in her music. A lot of her music is well written. I'll give her flowers on that. She also had a song "Medicate," which came out after that had 19 million streams. I was not so much a fan of that one, but she toys with more similar messaging to Tana Mojo, similar themes of like substance abuse or substance use, and just unhealthy living habits. Because I think at that time she had been going through the monster debacle, which we will get into. Um, in 2022, she released the EP Trauma Queen. This was during the era where things were looking a little spooky for Gabby, if you remember. This was when she started doing all like the paintings.
Huh? Wait, what?
She had this whole era where she started painting and got really into art, and the art looked, I don't know the best
It
words
was
to
giving
describe it.
DIY.
It was giving DIY, but also a little spooky, a little scary. You know, like
Oh.
2007 sort of alt. It gives stuff like this.
Kind of reminiscent of like, I don't know. I feel like she was like painting and stuff during her manic episode, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
Like during the era where she was having her manic episode because a lot of things had gone down in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing this era was very interesting. Two of the standout songs for me were Happy, where she's talking about being so happy and so grateful about life. I think at this point she had a long-term boyfriend. I think she also had a podcast with him that he was on pretty frequently. And Happy was like a really great song. She's like, I love where life is right now. And then post breakup, she releases Happy in the End. This one has 1 million streams, but I think at least like 200,000 of them were for me. I'm sorry.
You were running those numbers up.
This is a crazy statement to say, but it walked. So I Wish I Hated You by Ariana could run.
Oh my god.
It's just such a good song. I don't think it had a music video for real. It was mostly just like a visualizer. But
Mm-hmm.
Trauma Queen was an era, and then she just or I guess in that same year, she released her first album, which was This Time Next Year. And there was not much noise about that album, to be honest. I think this was after the scandal, after the manic episode. She kind of just like fell off and started releasing music sporadically.
Mm-hmm.
But getting into some of the controversy with her music, I feel like she's one of the influencers that really had to fight to be considered an artist, because in comparison to Tana Mojo, I feel like Gabby really wants a music career. She wanted this bad.
Yeah, because Tana was more of like a meme thing.
Yeah. And Gabby wanted to be an artist, but sort of became a meme.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah. That really started off with the infamous monster meme. You really just had to be there.
Yes.
She,
What about the monster?
she released Monster. It was a pretty decent song. I'm not gonna lie. The music video also was quite well produced. She's like trying to be this monster, and then she locks herself into a room, and there's like fire, and she lights herself on fire, and then there's like
Whoa.
there's like a reprise. Is it a reprise? Reprise?
A reprise.
Or-
That's what I say. I don't know.
But Gabby had a whole reprise where she like continued from the first music video. The artistry was there. I'll give her that. But what started off the monster meme was she went on this Genius interview. I feel like sometimes Genius kind of sets you up.
Yeah. They love to like just humiliate an artist.
They'll
a
just
little
leave
bit.
the cameras rolling, let anything and everything in. And that's exactly kind of what happened with this Genius interview. I don't know if you heard Monster, but there's a big note. There's a big note for the chorus.
That's a big note.
And Gabby comically is loud. That's part of the lore. Like she sings.
That is kind of her brand, is being loud.
Loud.
I feel like.
And she did that on this Genius interview. It just so happened that she was clipping the audio, so they removed all vocal processing that they normally have for their Genius interviews. So it sounded crazy.
Yeah.
And that set off
Yeah.
the monster meme where she could not escape it. There were memes. This was before TikTok, and this was still like a big thing. Like there were tons of memes on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, of course, of people just like making fun of Gabby and her music career. That wasn't great because, as someone who wants to be taken serious as an artist, if you're having all this sort of pushback to you being like seen as not a real artist and like as a joke, essentially, it sets you
Hmm.
a little far back. And I don't feel like I think she started to lean into it a bit, but people really weren't letting her have it.
No, and I think the combination of like the Genius interview and a bunch of her viral live performances that just didn't go well, it just made it hard for people to take her seriously as an artist because like anytime it seemed like she was singing live, it just was like, whoa.
Whoa, literally.
Whoa. Yes, segue.
Which segues into the next mini controversy. We'll get into live performances, but
Hmm.
she released this spoken word song called Anti-Social Media. And in this song, she is talking about her relationship with social media, her relationship with like public opinion, public criticism, and how that impacts her and her psyche and her day-to-day life. And again, well intentioned. This is nothing new. We see this a lot with like influencer and celebrity music where they want to talk about the realities of being in the public eye. It just so happens that this came across in a very, I want to say, like millennial cringe way.
Well, didn't you say it was giving Eminem or
It was
something?
giving Eminem. It was giving. What's the opposite of M&M's?
I was gonna say peanut M&Ms, but that's still M&Ms. It was giving Skittles.
It's giving Reese's.
There you go.
Reese's Pieces Bites.
It wasn't giving M&M, babe. It was giving Reese's Pieces.
And that, of course, was memed because why do that? The part where she's like, I don't know the lyrics, but she ends with "Whoa."
Well, yeah, I do remember that. Well, okay, I could be wrong, but wasn't this like her take on the diss track thing, but like diss track against myself?
That was a whole different thing. She had a whole other thing for that.
Oh,
There was like the
okay.
roast yourself. She did the roast yourself one where she talks about like
Oh, yes, you're right. You're
this
right.
was something completely separate. That's like
Well, okay. Wasn't this like a video where she was like doing like something fun and then it like switches up and then she's like, it's getting serious now.
it was so jarring.
She said, I'm versatile.
She can do it all.
She can do it all.
Honestly, ahead of her time. It reminds me of you've heard "Okay" by JT, right?
I'm pretty than a motherfucker.
Yeah.
All you bitches, okay.
There's
Of
a part where
course.
she randomly goes, "Dark shadows." Whoa.
I fucking love JT. Can I just say, off topic, I still listen to Pussy Talk at least like a couple times a month.
It talk English, Spanish, and French.
There's Pussy Talk euros, dollars, and yens.
Okay. But moving on to her live performances, like you said, a lot of them were not great. But one interesting thing about Gabby Hanna's music career is that she has performed at some very elusive places. Some places that you may have you may have not expected her to. And places that kind of cement
Like
her.
Mumbai. Sorry, I just cut ahead.
You spoiled it, but you clocked it. Gabby Hanna, for some reason, in 2018, performed, and I kid you not, in Mumbai, India, and sang her
Period.
songs.
She's an international star.
She's an international icon. Now, usually, when you think of celebrities or influencers going to India to perform, you think, oh, they're getting cut a check. Like you think Rihanna. You think, who else was
Hello,
there?
Dubai.
Hello, Dubai. Like the people, you think of Justin Bieber. People that are performing there, they're going because they're getting paid.
Don't tell me they didn't pay her.
I'm sure they did, but I'm sure it was not.
But how much is the question? I'm sure they paid her something, but how much? Couldn't tell you.
Right. She performed at YouTube Fan Fest in 2018. So,
Period.
yeah, shout out to her.
She was decked out in her traditional Indian garb.
Yes.
She had her sorry on and she was not sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Does it count as cultural appropriation though if she's like in the country? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like she was like, oh, I'm just randomly gonna put on this sorry for a music video and like this is mine now. I
Yeah.
feel like it was appropriate, but I don't know. It's not my obviously my take or choice to have.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this performance right now, and her stage presence is there. She's looking at the
Nice.
crowd. She's singing. She has conviction. Um, Honestly, very much a difference from her recent performances, which we're
Hmm.
gonna get into. She's performed at places like Mumbai, India, VidCon. I think that was her one of her iconic performances in 2018 in Australia, in 2019 in Los Angeles. So truly, truly international.
Yeah. She's booked and busy.
And I think honestly, her most influential, her most impactful performance. I don't know if many people know this, and honestly, this might be a flex.
Mm.
But Gabby Hanna performed at the illustrious TanaCon.
The illustrious Tanagon.
I'm honestly shocked that she has because, as far as I knew, TanaCon lasted all of like 20 minutes, or
Yeah.
at least was going on for that amount of time before it got shut down and at capacity. But Gabby Hanna was performing, and she performed out loud, and she even performed Hefner.
Which is like such a choice to like perform someone else's song at an event that they're at. Like
Right.
I wonder why she's like, you know what? I should perform Hefner.
Tana did not come out, but she did carry that Hefner performance.
Which is also strange to me. Like if it was like a duet, I would have been like, sure, but she just like fully performed her song.
Picturing Gabby Hanna performing Hefner is crazy.
That is crazy.
Like Gabby Hanna saying, "I fuck on your bitch like I'm Hefner,"
I'm imagining her rehearsing it
right?
and like taking it very seriously.
No, she's like, "Is the melody here right? Is is this the right pitch? Is this the right key?"
She's just fucking your bitch. Fuck on your fuck on your bitch like I'm Hefner.
And then more recently, Gabby Hanna had not been seen performing, at least since like 2022, because she had like a few pop-up shows where she performed a bunch of songs. There was some like mini backlash there because people were concerned about her vocal technique. People were concerned about her like live vocal techniques because it seemed like she was straining for a lot of the songs.
Mm.
um well, shoot, do you have any do you have any takes for live performing in Madison?
I haven't seen like a bunch of her videos since they first came out with like live performance. I think with like the Genius interview, like she could have sang the same note just quieter. Like I don't like she didn't have to be like super loud. I think when people belt, they feel like they need to be as loud as possible, but that's not actually necessary. But that's just like a thing that people do. Like it just happens. But yeah, I mean, like I remember there was one video where she was singing at VidCon and it was like really messy. And I think some of that was nerves. I also think I don't know if she like warmed up before. I don't think she knows how to just like control her voice really, and like I it doesn't to me it doesn't sound like she really knew any vocal technique. And you said she had a vocal coach at the time, right?
She did have a vocal coach. She had, I'm not sure if they were vocal coaches or producers, but I remember she had a series out
Oh,
where she would work with these two women who like helped her produce like a lot of her early music, and they'd like
yeah.
help her be like, "Oh, place it here," or like sing like this.
Yeah, which is not the same. Like, yeah, they can definitely give tips on like, oh, like here's how you should like try to sing this, or like vocal placement, or like whatever. But I don't know. I feel like she just didn't really know what she was doing vocally, and like didn't have enough like live performance experience under her belt to like feel comfortable on stage and like learn how to control her voice and stuff. It was I do remember at the time being like, yeah, that sounds kind of like unhealthy, or like she could really damage her voice if she keeps performing like that. But again, like I haven't watched those videos in so long, so I don't know.
I think she's had some development. because recently she's gone viral. And by recently, I mean like as of 2 weeks ago. Because she just randomly popped up at Newcastle Music Fest in Pennsylvania, because that's where she's from, I believe. And she
Mm.
was performing like a pretty long set. She was performing most of her discography, and fans were shocked to see her performing, for one. And two, her performance was kind of giving it to the girl. She was giving us energy.
Nice.
She performed a couple of covers and then also a bunch of her older songs as well as some newer ones. Um, and it's just like so random because I don't think anyone was expecting to see Gabby Hanna pop up on their For You page, especially like performing
No.
live.
Yeah. I was like, good for her.
Right?
I'm glad that she's on the mend and she's out here singing her little heart out.
She's been releasing music casually on her YouTube channel for like the past year now. Although some of it has begun to be a little religious, which is interesting. I feel like the pipeline for YouTubers that like have episodes or like really dark times and then come back
Yeah.
as super religious is definitely a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not the first and probably won't be the last. Um, I'm just glad she's happy.
Me too.
Thoughts and prayers. I just think the overall problem with Gabby Hanna as like a music influencer music case study is that no one really took her seriously for a long time
Yeah.
as an artist, and I feel like that kind of impacted how her legacy has been seen. Like I think she's
For
seen as
sure.
like an influencer artist as opposed to just like a regular music artist.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Well, if we're gonna talk about a influencer who has a very serious music career with
Ugh.
a discography of almost 400 tracks, Trisha
400.
Paytas.
Wait, hold on. 400 tracks?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure how accurate that number is. I got this is according to last.fm, which is like it'll give you like the discography of any artist. So I don't know if there was like duplicates in there, but she has a lot of songs. It may not be 400, but it's definitely she has multiple albums, okay? In EPs. She has like bodies of work
The fact
and
that
a
her
lot of
discography is
singles.
so fat.
It's crazy. Speaking of Fat Chicks, the album, or I think it was an EP actually. She has a body of work called Fat Chicks and a
Period.
song called Fat Chicks. Just to list off all of her albums and EPs, we've got Under the Covers. That was a full
Ooh.
album. Superficial Bitch, Daddy
Oh.
Issues, Showtime, Warrior. My
Oh my
personal
god.
favorite, Chicken Fingers and Lipo,
Real.
Chicken Parm and Heartbreak.
The two-part album.
The two songs from my kitchen floor. So on brand. I love the way she leans into her brand.
Right? A branded queen.
And Rebirth.
No, because I was thinking for like the first half of these, I'm like, oh my god, these could be Kim Petras albums. Like these sound like Kim Petras album
Yeah.
titles. And then it got
Yeah.
really niche.
Yeah, it got songs from my kitchen floor. I feel it can only be applied to Trisha.
There's only one person you think of.
So I'm not gonna list every single one of her singles, but I'll just name off some of her greatest hits. Freaky,
Ooh.
get freaked to get freaky. Which she claims that the Idol stole her concept, cause
They probably
I'm
did.
a
Let's
freak.
be real.
Yeah, I know Lily Rose Depp knows who Trisha Paytas is, so who
Oh,
knows?
for sure. Who doesn't?
knows? Who doesn't? The Weeknd's team knows Trisha, so
Okay.
honestly, they should write her a check.
Well,
Freaky Spanish version, which I didn't know existed until I researched for this.
she studied from The Way.
Okay, can we talk about that briefly? Because that's why I thought Ariana Grande was a Latina queen, because she had a Spanglish version of like multiple songs.
Can I
for
tell you
no
something?
reason. Yes.
My mother said the same thing. My mother, up until 2 weeks ago, thought Ariana Grande was a Latina woman.
My dad thought Ariana Grande was a Latina woman, and he's never heard any of her songs in her life. He just was like, yeah, like Grande, she looks like I thought she was Latina. My father.
See?
So I Love You, Jesus, her greatest hit, might I
I
add. Her
love you,
most streamed.
Jesus.
Jesus. Not to be mistaken with the remix, I
Ooh.
Love You, Moses.
See, is that for her husband or just for Moses?
Well, so that's kind of why it works, right? It's for her husband, but she was also like, it kind of works because, like, Moses, duh.
Yeah.
I found, like, a Hebrew song cover on her channel. I didn't know that existed either.
Oh.
She's got like, her discography is crazy. She has so many covers of so many songs and so many music videos. I'm like, oh my god, like,
The budget is crazy. Didn't she say like she was going
millions.
broke off of her music?
Yes, she was. I'll get to that in a moment.
Oh.
But yes, short answer is yes. I hate my life.
Real, relatable.
Relatable. OnlyFan.
Okay.
Obviously, OnlyFans reference.
Mhm.
Cinderella. Iconic. Red flags.
Period.
And she's got at least 7 Christmas songs.
I'm surprised she doesn't have a Christmas album.
I know. Maybe she does, and I just flopped on the research on that end, but I found a bunch of Christmas singles, some of which are, like, covers, like Santa Baby, whatever. Speaking of her covers, some of her most iconic covers include What Dreams Are Made Of, which has a music video, which is true to form, historically accurate.
Of course.
Born to Make You Happy, Britney Spears, Bet on It, her iconic Bet on It music video. I think this was during her I'm a transgender man era.
She's had so many eras. Not all of them good. Many of them not.
I think Trisha Paytas, listen, I can't speak on our experience. I think she's a drag king. I feel like she really enjoys being, like, dressing up as a man. Like, she said that before. She's like, I just love, like, you know. So, I don't know. Maybe she's a drag king. She should get into that.
Period.
I think she would slay.
She would.
Shallow. This doesn't have a music video, but it's just iconic. I love the TV.
I need to hear this. I need to tap
You've never. This was so
No.
viral when it came out.
No, I have not.
Oh my god. I'll send you the link.
Please
It's
do.
amazing.
I want to ascend.
I don't know if ascending is necessarily what will happen, but something bodily will happen. Your mind will go somewhere. Every Time by Britney Spears. Also another cover. I Will Always Love You. It's not on Spotify, I don't think, but there is a music video for it.
Okay.
The Dolly Parton version of I Will Always Love You. Not the Whitney version.
Have Dolly Parton and Trisha Paytas met?
God. I think that would be the supernova that, like, ends us all.
That would be a level 10 mother quake. That would end the Badussi War.
Literally.
Flop truck.
Literally, all of North America would sink into the ocean.
A cataclysmic event. They're probably being kept apart for a
We'd have
reason.
a Pangea Part 2. Oh my god, that would be iconic. So music videos. She has at least 46 music videos.
That pop star. I'll say it.
I mean, the videos are giving budget. Even for a song that's a fucking cover, it's giving budget. Lighting, crew, costumes, choreo, dancer. Like, it's crazy.
It's insane. She is someone that has been so dedicated over the years just to the craft, just for the fun of it all.
Exactly. And I have so much respect for her for that, because she knows she's not a singer, but she's going to sing.
You're going to hear those pipes, baby.
You're going to hear those pipes, and she's going to have a music video to match. Like, I fucking love that. I think Trisha Paytas is rare in the sense that, like, she does it just because she loves it, not because she's good at it. I think most of us are drawn to things that we're good at, and we stick to that. And that's just kind of how humans operate. But she is willing to invest in a hobby.
Yes.
And, like, she doesn't care if she's good at it. She's doing it. And I fucking love that.
I think this can be a testament to any listener or watcher right now in the power of audacity.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
like you said, she doesn't necessarily have the vocal talent, and she knows that. She has the funds, but she just has the audacity to do exactly what she wants to do.
Yes. She's not
And
embarrassed. She don't care.
She's not embarrassed. She doesn't care about being cringe. She doesn't care like what other people think. Like, oh, are other people gonna like this music? She doesn't care. She wants to do something, so she does it. And honestly,
Yes.
that's inspirational. Like,
Yes.
if you feel like you can't do something, if you feel like you don't have what it takes to become an influencer, if you don't have what it takes to ask for that promotion, to confront your partner, like just have the audacity and do it. Learn from Trisha Paytas.
Learn. I need to learn. I honestly, like, I used to post covers and stuff, and, like, I don't post them anymore because people are like, you can't sing, actually. You're a horrible singer. Which is, like, objectively untrue. I'm a
Right.
professional singer. I've been paid to sing and act multiple times. But I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore because you guys are fucking mean.
You gotta have the audacity.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, if Trisha Paytas can have the audacity, I can have the audacity, and everyone listening can have the audacity.
Our motivation sitting somewhere in between Trisha Paytas and Victoria Monet.
Yeah, yeah. We got range here on this
Right.
podcast. But yeah, she didn't give a fuck, and she said in a podcast episode, like, she was like, listen, like, if I had like 40K in the bank, I spent it on a video. Like, the reason I don't have X, Y, and Z is because I was spending it on music videos. Which, I mean, same, but not in the same way.
That honestly is that's investment. You're investing in yourself at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Sad Boy 2005. This was an incredible moment in the Trisha Paytas timeline. She had like this emo cosplay band. That's the best way I could describe it. That was heavily inspired by like My Chemical Romance and Panic at the Disco. Like, she was recreating these looks, these music videos essentially, and like she had this like hired band that she would make songs with. I don't know if you've ever seen that video of her like on the beach and like military wear.
Oh, yeah. And she's like carrying the thing.
Yeah, that's Sad Boy 2005 era
wow.
Trisha.
Wow.
They have 2 EPs. One is a self-titled EP and one called Trigger Warning. She did go on tour, not with Sad Boy 2005, but like as a solo artist. And again, the tour was giving budget. She had choreo, she had dancers, she had costume changes.
And people showed up?
Yes, they did. It was the Heartbreak Tour of 2019. You just had to be there.
Was that during the same era that like she was with the Vlog Squad?
Yeah, I guess it's 2019, right? That's Trisha Paytas for you. I mean, my favorite influencer music career personally. I wish I had Trisha Paytas money. I think if I had Trisha Paytas money, I'd be famous as hell.
Okay.
I'd be a pop star. Trisha Paytas is more of a pop star than I am.
Trisha goes down in history as one of the most iconic influencer pop artists.
Definitely.
Moving on to like an influencer that I think is one of the first on this list to fully transcend the narrative of influencer and become more so an artist is Bella Poarch. Now, Bella Poarch is a relatively new name in the game in comparison to the rest of this list. She became popular on social media in 2020 when she created the most liked video on TikTok, where she lip syncs to the song M to the B. You remember that one? No. M to the B, M to the B, M to the B. And she like bobs her head. Very low commitment, but the most liked video on TikTok, and she essentially started her TikTok career off of that, and by proxy, her music career. She's been killing it. There's just no debate about that. She has 3.6 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and her discography consists of her debut single, Build a Bitch, which was viral in 2021 and currently has 456 million streams. That's crazy because that's giving main pop girl numbers. The music video, I remember, like, it's wild for someone's debut single. The music video that she had, I remember being pretty iconic. It was a Build a Bitch factory. And the song is revolving around her experience with bullying and people saying that she's not good enough, her body is not good enough. And
her body.
Yeah. And you can't build a bitch. This ain't Build a Bitch. The music video featured influencers like Valky Ray, Mia Khalifa, Bretman Rock, and more. I remember that being a moment. I had Build a Bitch in my playlist for quite a little bit. because that was the lockdown era. We were streaming. It was the time. You had to be there. She then she then released her first EP, Dolls, in 2022, which had songs Inferno, Dolls, Villain, No Man's Land, and Living Hell. Inferno had 239 million streams.
What's her demographic? Because I've never heard of any of these songs.
I actually am not sure. I think a lot of this does come from TikTok, but her music's actually good. Like the music is playlistable, it's listenable. You can listen to it without
Yeah,
thinking about her as an influencer. You're not supporting it
yeah.
because she's an influencer, because she's your favorite creator. She's just like a genuinely good artist. And this is reflected in the song that she released in 2023 called Crushed with Love. I had not heard of this song until I want to say October of last year. It's a hit. I could not escape it last year, to be honest. Like from when I discovered it to the end of 2023, it was going platinum in my household. Like my friend and I went on a road trip in October, and the entire trip we played Crush maybe like 10 to 15 times.
Oh my god.
Like she was on repeat. She was on repeat. It just gives like bubblegum pop, at least
Hmm.
that song. I think the thing with her music though at first was that she would get a lot of hate because she's new to the scene. Like she came on the scene in 2020 and has pulled in these numbers, had this amazing music career, and has been successful on social media. People hated her because they saw her rise as like kind of lazy and kind of easy and overnight.
Mm.
Because she did go viral for a lip sync video. I'm not sure if it still is, but at one point was like the most liked video on TikTok. Um, so as like most things, and especially when big influencers try something new or try something different, um, especially when it comes to music, it's very popular to trash it and to talk bad about it. Um,
Hmm.
and but I think what helped her breach out of just being a influencer or being an influencer artist was that the music was genuinely good. Like it was boppable. Like I said, you weren't thinking about her as an influencer when you were playing the song. Um, and I think that's a really important thing. Like there wasn't too much of like a meme factor. It was just like genuine, serious music. And you could tell like
Hmm.
she kind of wanted to do this. Like this is something that she's passionate about and she wants to continue to put energy around. Um, and she's been crushing it.
Good for you, Bella Put.
Shout out to Bella,
Well, another artist that is quite mainstream and has had a full blown music career.
my favorite twink.
Listen, he's like if I was a gay man, I'd be like Troy Sivan, you and me together. We
In a
we
room
would
with no
dance.
others.
um, exactly. No, but Troy Sivan is a full blown pop star. You wouldn't even. I mean, I feel like him being a YouTuber, it's like another lifetime. Like people don't really acknowledge it. He's been to the Met Gala. He's had multiple albums. He's performed with Taylor Swift. He has a song with Ariana Grande. Has a song with Charlie XCX. Has gone on tour with her. Like he's a pop girl. He's a
Down.
pop girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's great because like he wasn't at the Met Gala like, oh, I'm an influencer. He's like he was there as a musician, which I think is very cool. Um, but his music career dates back to like 2006. He was on a show called Channel 7 Perth Telethon, and he was on Star Search in 2007. Sorry guys, I'm not Australian, so I don't know anything about Channel 7 Perth Telethon. Just putting that out there. Um, anyway, he had an EP actually that released in June of 2007 called Dare to Dream. I had no idea this existed. Um, and, you know, after 2007, he was on YouTube in like the 2010s and was a very popular YouTuber, and he posted covers as well. And then in 2013 he signed to EMI Australia, which is a Universal Music Australia label, and shortly after he was signed to them he released his debut single Happy Little Pill, which is off of his EP Troy, or some refer to it as Trixie, in
I like Trixie better.
2014. Yeah, it's kind of cunt. And it's funny because I remember hearing the song on the radio and being like, "Oh my god, that's Troy Sivan, the YouTuber, on the
We
radio!"
made
Like,
it.
I know, I was like, "That's crazy!" Like, I had never known any other YouTuber who had like broke into radio play, into the mainstream. I was like, that's fucking wild. But I mean, like, the EP was really good. The single is really good. It had its moment on Tumblr. Like, he right just like right off the bat was like very successful, and like people really liked his music, which isn't surprising considering like he had been entertaining for years. He was in Harry Potter. He was Baby Wolverine. Like, he was booked and busy as a child.
He's had so many loves.
I know, it's amazing, and like I'm like, who did you know, girl? What was your
Right.
connection? I want to know. Um, but yeah, like he just immediately was successful as an artist, and he's got a really solid fan base. He's been on 6 tours. He's got 3 albums. And like there isn't too much to say just because he is like a known music artist. Like he's a full blown celebrity.
Yeah.
And it's just so wild to even think that he was a YouTuber at a time because he's so far removed from that now. And people have always taken him seriously as an artist, which again isn't surprising because he's a genuinely very talented person. And like it wasn't like a meme. He wasn't trying to like get attention. It's just obviously something that he was very passionate about and like pursued and is successful at. And like, goals, bitch, goals.
I feel like he was always taken seriously, but he wasn't really given the attention that he deserved until like I want to say last year to cut into like the real mainstream with his last
That's
album.
true. Yeah, I feel like the Ariana feature was like a moment, and I think him working with Charlie was really helpful with his career. And he's a collaborator with Ariana again with this latest album. He made Supernatural so much better. I only listened to that version of that song personally, but yeah.
Oh, I love Supernatural. His version's also really good.
What made him like super relevant? Oh, it was
Rush.
Rush. Yes,
Yeah,
I love that song, and the music video was so good.
it was so good. He had like a whole track run of like bomb music videos, like from
Yeah,
Rush to Just Get Me Started to Only Girl or like One of Your Girls.
oh yeah, one
Yeah.
of your girls. Oh my god, yeah, you're so right. And I remember him talking about this with like it was like Zane Lowe or someone,
Mhm.
and he was like, music videos are kind of dead. Like my label really didn't want to put money into making music videos, but like I really fought for this and it paid off. And I'm like, yes, like I love that he's fighting for the art of music videos because they still can have an incredible moment, and like those music videos really helped his career.
Yeah.
And I also strongly believe in music videos, and like I love that it like paid off, and like I hope that we bring back real music videos, you know?
I think people stopped tuning into music videos because they stopped being good. Like they just
Yeah.
started being like that like artists like dancing around in random locations to their song. Like there wasn't a story.
Yeah, totally. And I think the reason why music videos kind of fell off is because streaming has completely changed the music industry, and now the music industry is more focused on these like short TikTok songs, and things that like take time or like maybe don't have like the same return on investment because music videos, it's not like the 90s, like we don't have MTV anymore. So with the rise of TikTok and social media, they've kind of been like left in the dust, and there hasn't been like an importance on music videos anymore, which is sad to
Sad.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing like gathering around with a bunch of your friends, drinking, and then just putting on your favorite pop girls music videos and commentating over them. Like that's bliss.
That's such a gay activity, personally.
It
I've never
is.
been in a room of straights where we've done that. It's only with the gays.
It's a quite queer activity for sure.
It's a queer activity. Yeah.
The final act to talk about today is another one that transcended the moniker of influencer artist and just became a music artist. And that is my fave, Conan Gray. Woo!
Woo! Snaps and claps.
Conan Gray is a very interesting case because he was on YouTube for a while. I think for Troy, he was on early YouTube, um,
Mm-hmm.
which really did help him like distance himself from the influencer ness of it all because by the time influencers had become like really popular, he was already off platform. Like he was around like during the era of like Tyler Oakley, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was pre TikTok, pre like really popular mainstream YouTube. Conan was sort of in the middle ground. He was a YouTuber from 2013 to kind of sort of 2019. He started winning off at the end of, or the beginning of 2019. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he started making videos back when he was 15. So we really watched Conan grow up. And that was sort of the experience with his YouTube channel. He did a lot of
Mm-hmm.
vlogs. He talked about a bit about his life. He had a really popular Draw My Life video back when that was a trend. I miss that era,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest.
And his like college videos are popular.
Yeah, his college videos, he went to UCLA. Um, and that was when his music really started taking off. He released his debut single, Idle Town. Love that song. I don't know about you. That whole EP, Sunset Season, such a banger. That's where I discovered Coded.
Mm-hmm.
But Idle Town came out to that with 14 million streams. It currently has 14 million streams. Follow that up with the next single, Grow, another banger. And then, of course, Sunset Season, which had tracks like Generation Y, Idletown again, Crush Culture, Greek God, and Lookalike. And this EP really did launch him into the artist status. And he kind of rolled with that for quite a while. I feel like he was kind of seen as like more of an indie artist for a good portion of the early part of his career up until his debut album Kid Crow. Um, and that album came out during lockdown and during the height of the pandemic, so he wasn't able to really promote it in the way that a lot of artists normally do. The album still did really well. You had standouts on the album like Heather, which really had its moment on social media, and I think kind of did launch him into that music star status or like main star status. He then followed Kid Crow up with albums like Super Ache, which came out in 2022, and Found Heaven, which came out a little bit earlier this year. Um, I think his sound has evolved over the years too, which I think is really interesting. He started off as really like indie, like pop, soft pop,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then kind of kept those themes in Kid Crow. And Super Ache, I feel like he started to go like this rock route.
And very like 80s synth pop too, which I thought was cool. Like
Yeah,
he's a very nostalgic vibe to his music.
really nostalgic vibe. And I feel like he leaned into that the most heavily in Found Heaven. Like, to be honest, Found Heaven is like my least favorite album from him, just because that's not necessarily my sound and it's very much that. Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I think him and Olivia Rodrigo, they're friends, but they both kind
Yeah.
of went a similar direction with their sounds as
Mm.
they've like gotten more into their careers.
They to me they seem like the male and female version of each other.
No, literally,
Like even in like kind of like the way they look and like their vibe, like I just feel like they're like siblings.
they came up around the same time. Like
Yeah.
they both really got a lot of inspiration from Taylor Swift, and you can really tell from like their early
Mm.
works, like it does give like that very singer-songwritery
Right.
vibe. And now that they found their own sound, they've both kind of went into similar directions of like
Hmm.
80s pop, kind of rock.
This is such a random little tidbit, but I remember because I used to watch his YouTube videos, and he made a video like what I'm listening to now or like talking about music. He's the reason why I found out about Billie Eilish because he mentioned
Really?
her. Yeah, he mentioned one of her singles like before her EP even came out, and I was like, oh, I'll listen to this. I was like, oh, I like this Billie Eilish girl.
Not
And
Conan
then
Gray put you on the Billie Eilish.
to Billie Eilish. Yeah, it's so funny. And then she like fucking blew up like a few years after that.
That's crazy. But yeah, I think he was really able to distance himself from being an influencer. I think not many people outside of like the people that were the core stands of him at that time really remember that he even was an influencer and
Mm,
started with that. Um, One thing that I think kind of helps and something that we haven't talked about is when it comes to being an artist, sort of having that influencer background is really helpful when it comes to like promoting your music. Like I feel like Troy
yeah.
and Conan Gray are such good promoters of their music because they know how to work social media. Like they grew up on this. They've been doing this since they're children. So they know how to really capitalize on a moment, make a moment, and keep their audiences engaged.
Because that's the name of the game now. The way that the music industry has changed with social media, like you have to be very social media savvy these days, and a lot of traditional media figures are now trying to figure out social media. So it is really helpful, and like that's why I started social media actually, is because like you know I was trying to figure out like okay how can I like better my chances of getting work and making myself more visible, and having a following is so important. And a lot of people want to know how many followers you have when you audition for stuff. Like, I've been to many like classes, master classes, where they're like, you got to get on social media. Like, some, like, they're going to ask you how many followers you have at auditions now, and like it's just something you have to do. And
Wow.
so, yeah, and a lot of people don't like that, and I get it, but I think there's a way to like make social media work for you rather than feeling like you're selling out. But yeah, and obviously, like, to me it's funny because people will comment on myself like, "Oh, I usually don't like YouTuber music, but this is actually kind of good." And it's like, "Well, yes, cuz I've been a musician way before I've been online." But like, it's so important to like carve your space out on the internet as an artist, because no one's gonna really care. Labels won't even talk to you if you don't have followers. Like, I'm being
That's
completely dead
crazy.
ass.
That's wild. Something that you mentioned that I think is interesting that we could talk about. You mentioned that the common sentiment is that people don't really like or mess with or YouTuber music or like influencer music. Why do you
Yeah.
think that is?
Because it's just known to be a meme, you know? Like, a lot of them are just doing it for, like, attention or clout or money or whatever it may be. And it's not, it doesn't feel listenable, or, like, their heart is in it. And so people just assume if you're an influencer, then you're just making music for those, like, purposes. I think it's interesting when people say it about me, though, because I'm not Tana Mojo. I'm not as famous as her. I didn't wait years into my career to start making music. Again, like, this is like a part of who I am as a person. And it's like, it serves nothing for me to make music. It's not going to boost my clout. No one's going to care. Like, I'm always fighting for people to listen to my music. And like, I just think it's interesting because I feel like it's more common with people who are like Jake Paul, or like, I don't know, someone with like millions of followers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, it doesn't even really make any sense because I'm not that kind of influencer. Like, I don't have that big of a platform compared to those other people. So it's like there's really nothing for me to gain from making music just for the sake of
Yeah.
it. But yeah, people are just always going to have that association, and they're always going to assume it's going to be bad, or like you're not good. And I don't blame them. Like, that's just kind of how it is. But I don't know. My music speaks for itself. You may have preconceived notions, but as soon as you listen to my music, you're going to be like, oh, like, you're actually a singer, which is fine, because, I don't know. You're always going to have people assuming shit, but again, the music speaks for itself.
I think if y'all haven't already, then you should definitely stream Madison's music. Killed by Clone.
Banger.
It's a hit. That's a real hit.
Shameless promo. Go listen to
Shameless
my music.
promo. You're already on the
Yeah.
same app, so might as well.
I'm a star. God damn it. I feel like I feel like that's what I sound like right now.
No, but you do have
But
a lot of talent. Like, you've been working at this for a very long time. And I think it's really interesting that this video's topic is influencer music careers, because I feel like with the route that you've taken, it's very different from the rest of these people. Like, you really are carving out your own lane for yourself. And I think
thanks.
people love that. I love that. And are super excited for new music that you have coming out.
Yeah, it's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's been a hard year, but it's coming.
So I guess last thing to talk about when it comes to all this is, our influencer music careers a shameless promo or a shameful cash grab?
Well, I always think it's funny when people are like, they're doing this for money. I'm sure Tana has made a bunch of money off her music, but in general, like, artists aren't known for making a lot of money off of music.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people are doing this for money necessarily. But again, a lot of these people get like millions of streams. But I don't know. I don't like someone like Trisha, where she's definitely lost money on music. I don't think she's doing it for money.
Yeah.
I think maybe like you could say it's shameful in the sense of like maybe, I don't know, like stealing opportunity. I don't know if it's even called stealing, but like, you know, taking up space and
Yeah.
music, even though you're not passionate about it. And again, that's coming from my own like perspective as someone who's like trying really hard to make it in the music industry, and is like,
Yeah.
it's an uphill battle. But I think for the most part it's shameless. Like everyone's entitled to making music whether they're like quote unquote good at it or not. I don't think there should be any gatekeeping really. Like music is for everyone, and if you want to make music, you have every right to do that.
Yeah, I'd agree. I feel like overall, it's mostly shameless. Like there is no real harm in it. No one's being taken advantage of or exploited in terms of like,
Yeah.
as far as I know, in terms of like the production and the work behind these pieces.
This has been dictated as a shameless business endeavor. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening to episode 3.
Yes, thanks for tuning in, for sticking around till the end. Don't forget to rate this podcast on Spotify and Apple Music if you enjoyed, and comment down below what you think we should cover next on our next episode of Shameless Promo down in the comment section on Spotify and on YouTube.
Period. Leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Give it a little 5-star if you're feeling generous.
Nasty.
If you want to match our freak, please give us a review.
Oh my god. Oh wait, actually, next week's episode is going to be kind of different. We could talk about that.
Wait, what's next week?
I'm going to be in Iceland. We're going to have an Icelandic episode.
Yeah, we're gonna be on. One of us is gonna be on location.
So stay tuned for that. Excited to see how that comes out. But be super excited for the next Icelandic episode.
Nice.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.